What's your name and what do you do? And what kind of business do you have? How did you start it? Did you have to raise any capital or anything to get it off the ground? Do you have a business credit card or anything like that? How do you build business credit? What things do you need to have in place? About how much revenue do you guys make right now?
We're shy under $2 million a year.
Do you have a favorite tax write-off or a favorite tax strategy that you like to implement?
Man, having a business is the biggest write-off you could get.
What's going on, guys? Sean here, and today I'm at a networking event here in Atlanta, Georgia. And as we know, business credit is very important to any company. And so what I want to do is interview business owners to ask them questions like how they use business credit, how much money they make, and any tips they have to share. Let's get into it. What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Rafael Gutierrez, and I'm a filmmaker and cinematographer.
And how long have you been doing that?
Well, I've been doing this for since I was 12. But professionally, my first job was American Idol when I turned 18, and it was flying colors since then. Now I'm 34, so it's about 16 years.
What would you say is your most favorite project to date?
As far as my most influential, and I appreciate and I'm glad I did it, and it was just a great experience overall, the memory of it, is my feature film, Foul Mouths, A Teenage Rage.
Okay, let's talk business for a second. What are you registered as?
My company's, I have two, and they both register as LLCs.
Can I ask you why you decided to register as an LLC?
Well, my first business, I had registered a long time ago as an LLC, and it just worked out as far as taxes go.
And a lot of times people like to register as an LLC because it has that personal liability protection. So if someone sues your business, then they can only go after the business assets rather than your personal assets. Okay, so let's talk numbers a little bit. How much did it cost for you to start your business?
I think it took me for my video production company around $12,000. But my grip and lighting company, we spent about $26,000.
How did you get the $26,000? Did you use personal credit, business credit? Can you speak toward that at all?
Yeah, of course. So we did not use any personal credit because I had my company as a production company, and it showed revenue. I was able to create a relationship with Bank of America, and we had started doing small transactions through them, and it had kind of helped build our business credit a little bit. With it already with Bank of America seeing our potential, we was able to get approved for I think about $12,000 from that, and then from there I was able to open up new store credit under the business name, and of course I got like $6,000 here, $6,000 there.
So it sounds like with your past business history, you were able to walk into Bank of America and they gave you, what was it, a small business loan or something like that for $12,000?
Yeah, actually, well, we was able to open up a credit card under the business, and so we used the credit card, and the credit card limit was like $12,000.
Okay, so $26,000 in startup costs, you raised it through credit cards. Can you talk to us about how much money you make now?
Yeah, well, right now, the grip truck business is ranging about $3,000 to $5,000 a month. It's not quite where we wanted to be just yet because our vision of it is very specific, and we're looking to make about $20,000 to $26,000 a month from one van.
What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Santiago, and I'm an entrepreneur.
And what kind of business do you have?
We'll have a couple of businesses. One of them is a marketing agency here in Atlanta. The other one is in a startup that it's mainly launched in Latin America. It's like a Shopify on steroids.
What inspired you to start your agency?
Well, to be honest, my business partner, Diego Sabogal, we were working together in a company, and then I was very good at doing design and doing marketing, but then he was the first one to actually say, hey, you're good at this, why don't we make something else? So that's when we actually talked about this, and we both quit at the same time, and we just decided to start our own company.
How much money did it cost for you to get started?
To get started in the business, we maxed out all of our credit cards. So here's the thing, when we decided to start, it's not like we were prepared for it. When you're working for someone else, you're usually just on that specific spot on doing the stuff that they assign you to do. But when you start a business from the scratch, there's a lot of different things that you don't know that you should know. So for example, one thing that I would do different when I started is to actually plan ahead and have like some cash reserved for at least 6 months to start our business. I didn't do that. So I just quit my company, the company that I was used to work at, and then we just decided to max out our credit cards.
Speaking of credit, how important is your personal credit or your business credit when you're operating a company?
Okay, we're at a point that we want to scale our company. Fortunately, we weren't preparing for that at the beginning. So credit is very, very important, especially if you want to get a business loan or if you're trying to get a line of credit in order to, help you support that growth that you want to make. Because one issue that we encounter ourselves is that we are good at what we do, but then we want to take over more clients. But the thing is, we need to hire more people and have processes established. But in order to do that, we need more cash. So that's what is kind of limiting us our growth right now. So it is very, very important for you all out there. As soon as you get a business, please open a bank account, get a credit line, and start working that credit because it's going to help you a lot.
We talked about costs, we talked about credit. About how much revenue do you guys make right now?
We're shy under $2 million a year.
Now, really quick, before I move on, I want to thank today's sponsor, Mercury. So one thing I always encourage entrepreneurs to do is to set up a business bank account. But of course, there are a lot of options out there. Well, I love Mercury because Mercury offers banking for startups at any size and at any stage. They help give every entrepreneur access to financial resources like free checking and saving accounts, debit cards, domestic and international wire transfers, and a very special corporate credit card IO. And for US companies founded globally, you can actually open an account right from your laptop without needing to visit the US. And this corporate credit card gives business owners instant spending power without the need of credit checks or any annual fees. Plus you get a 1.5% cashback reward on common business expenses. And what I love most about Mercury is you get a bird's eye view of all your company expenses from one simple, easy to read dashboard. But maybe the best part is there is no personal guarantee. So you can start building up your business credit without the need of using your personal credit or making a personal guarantee. So if you want to join 100,000 plus startups who trust Mercury, then click the link down in the description below or visit mercury.com/credit to learn more. You won't be disappointed. And once again, thank you to Mercury for sponsoring this video. If you're a startup founder, please check them out. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next interview. What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Lala Johnson and I am a growth hacker and real estate agent.
What does it mean to be a growth hacker?
So a growth hacker pretty much helps you increase your sales. So if you are on social media, online or offline, I pretty much come in to systemate, automate, create campaigns, and to do everything that you probably were trying to do that wasn't working.
When I hear growth hacking, I hear like doing things that aren't so conventional, maybe different strategies most people don't think about or know about. What made you get started in growth hacking?
I was doing things that most people were not thinking about doing. When social media became really big before the pandemic came around, I was doing door-to-door. And actually the ROI on door-to-door was way more than what people thought it was. And then another hack that I came up with, which is what a lot of people see nowadays in like the healthcare and email marketing, was I would create a headline that wasn't the headline that people were typically used to seeing. So discount codes or them saying like, hey, check this out, was getting washed. So I start responding to people and sending out my emails with the RE and the 2 semicolons, which is basically making you feel as if somebody is responding to what you are saying. And if you've never interacted with my business, then 9 times out of 10 you're gonna open that because what could I possibly be saying to you and you haven't said anything to us.
One thing we get asked a lot about is business credit. Do you leverage business credit at all? Do you have a business credit card or anything like that?
I actually, at 26 years old, this big old age, am just now starting to get into business credit. All of my years prior, marketing made me a millionaire and I just was a cash girl. And as long as I had the cash, I did not care about the credit.
Well, I think as you mature as an entrepreneur,
yes,
there's definitely going to be reasons why you might want business credit. Maybe you want to open up a second business, a location. So many reasons to start establishing credit. So how much money do you make with your business?
Woo, well over 6 figures now.
6 figures?
Yes.
Is that annually, a month, what?
That could be in a month or that could be annually. And I want people to know 6 figures goes all the way up to $999,999.
Okay, so it sounds like you're making a healthy 6 figures. It's not like a little bit amount of money. So how long have you been in this and how long has it taken you to grow your revenues to that point?
So I've been in growth hacking for about 8 years. I would say the first 2 years was kind of a struggle. A lot of the behind the scenes work that people didn't really see. I didn't really want to use platforms that people were using as far as like Instagram, Facebook. And then as I realized that the audience was growing on those platforms, I converted over. That 3rd year of me being in it, I want to say I was probably making about $40,000 something, but it was coming within a month's time span. So it wasn't like that was my annual thing, but I don't know, I wasn't really calculating it right. But I would say around like my 4th, 5th years when I really started to see the revenue pick up.
So what is your business registered as?
LLC.
Do you have any specific like tax strategies or write-offs that you enjoy in your business?
Honestly, my mom is my tax accountant. One thing I will say though is like as far as something that she did teach me is anytime you're doing anything with like business, you're buying a phone, you're buying a laptop, if you have to go meet people to go to meetings, if you do want an office space, those are all write-offs and you should always be taking note of those things, especially the biggest one is to have a business bank account because I never transitioned into that literally until about this age is now when I'm starting to take it serious. But when you merge those two accounts, it's very hard to kind of go through and figure out what goes where and what you paid for and what was for the business. But gas, I mean like the most craziest thing, food, like when I was just going out to eat and using my laptop, that was considered a write-off. And I like steak, lobster, and shrimp, so yeah, I was getting that money back.
What's your name and what's your business?
Haziq Ali, and the name of our company is LYFE.
And what does LYFE do?
We're a fintech-based company that provides solutions for consumers and small businesses. Our stated purpose is closing the wealth gap by closing the ownership gap.
How long have you been in business?
We've been around since 2014 now, man. Yeah, so soon we'll be making our 10-year anniversary. You know, it's funny you ask that though, because most businesses go out of business in the first couple years. And it's mostly because of access to capital. You know, you figure it out, you know, you make some mistakes, you stumble, you fall, you get up, and before you know it, you done mastered your formula, but now you're out of money. And so our thing is to get people the funding they need so we can extend the life expectancy of the entrepreneur.
Yeah, like they said, a popular headline is 9 out of 10 startups fail within their first 3 years in business.
Absolutely.
It sounds like that's what you're speaking to.
Absolutely.
How did you start it? Did you have to raise any capital or anything to get it off the ground?
No, we bootstrapped it. My partner had already built multiple multi-million-dollar companies. His name is Rico McCambry. And, you know, he basically linked up with me through a mastermind.
How is business credit directly impacting your company?
Oh, listen, man. We've got, now we're to the point we got all kinds of platinum cards and all of this stuff. But I think what you're really asking is, how do we see it like in real life? Like when you're watching businesses in real time struggle, what I tell people is that whenever you're in a market and you see one, I don't care if it's a flower shop, one flower shop is struggling and the other one is flourishing, what you're looking at is business credit or the lack thereof. Like business credit is why that flower shop has a second location. Business credit is why that flower shop has more company cars. Business credit is why that flower shop has a marketing budget. But 50% of the businesses in America right now, according to the Small Business Administration, they're using their personal credit to run everything. And the power is in the business credit, because with personal credit, the more you use, the lower your score goes. That's called utilization. But with business credit, the more you use, the more they give you. So you can get to the point where you can transfer the debt from your personal credit over to your business credit, and then both scores will go up. It's like a magic trick, but it ain't. It's financial literacy. But where was you supposed to learn that when you go to business school and your business school teacher didn't even have a business?
How much revenue does your company make right now?
We're up in the tens of millions, you know. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say tens, but you know, I'll say 10. You know, soon it'll be tens, and then it'll be hundreds, and then we'll be $1 billion business.
What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Reunek Williams. I am the owner of a private capital firm, and I also am a real estate developer. I educate about real estate, and I'm a financial advisor.
How many properties do you own, and what type of properties do you have?
I would say I own a few $1 million in real estate. I do flipping. I also purchase tax liens and rental properties.
Can you walk us through maybe one of your best real estate deals, like acquisition price, maybe the cash flow, appreciation, any numbers you can share with us?
So my current deal I'm doing right now is one of my, honestly, my first luxury flips. I picked it up for $400,000. We're dropping about $650 into it, and it's worth about $2.5 million. So I'm hoping to put that on the market in the next 60 days. So, yeah.
So you built in about $1 million in equity with that one deal?
Yes, built in $1 million of equity, and it's really not even built in. The equity, you buy the equity when you purchase. So you don't necessarily build in equity. It's all about the location of where you purchase. So I purchased in a location that had $1 million homes around it. Once I purchased the property, I was purchasing my equity then. Now that same house in a home in a community that's capped at $250, can't give me that type of return. So it's all about the location as well that's going to maximize your return.
How important is business credit for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Business credit is a necessity to building a business. Why? Because business is to be scalable. You know, in order to scale to the next level, sometimes you need to be able to use other people's money. And also, it's not even about business credit. I would say just credit is a necessity to be successful because your liquid cash caps you. So you can only do so much with the money in your bank account. But if I can multiply, if I can 100 times the money in my bank account, or I can 10 times the money in my bank account, or if I can 10 times the money in your bank account, I can do more. So that's why credit is the extension beyond your own liquid cash, which is a necessity to even grow. Why would I take risk with my money? I use my money for a rainy day. So I'd rather take risk with your money, and if we win, we both win. If we lose, you lost, I lost, but I still got my liquid cash that I can still support my family and support my foundation, which is very important.
How do you build business credit? What things do you need to have in place?
Okay, awesome. When you first starting to build business credit, is truly 100% about leveraging your personal credit. Why? Because it's levels of business credit. So the more your business is cash flowing, your cash flow becomes credit. So I can leverage the revenue. I can leverage my cash flow if it's cash flowing. But if your business, if it's just starting, you don't have any cash flow. You have no profits to leverage. So therefore, you only way that I know your business worth is by assessing and reviewing your personal credit. That's the only way I know your credit worthiness is by your personal credit. So when you first establishing business credit, you have to leverage your personal credit. And the things that we're looking for is you have at least a 680 credit score. You to have 2 to 3 primary revolving credit lines. Very important, 2 to 3 primary. Primary is your own credit cards, and no negative, no lates or anything. If you have it, make sure you get them removed. Also, your inquiries. So if you have a lot of recent inquiries, you'll get denied as well. So if you are utilizing credit a lot, try to get a credit company to delete those inquiries off of your credit. So when you go to a bank, it don't look like you've been shopping around. And that's very important too, because no banks want to lend money to someone who's shopping around.
What are some of your favorite tax write-offs or tax strategies that you may implement in your businesses?
Honestly, it's not a favorite. I am my business. So everything I do is a write-off. And that's how we got to think about it. You are your business. When I go out to lunch, that's a business lunch. When I buy a car, I'm buying it in my business name because 90% of the time I'm probably going to meet clients and things of that nature. So the key is to just understand that we're always somewhat operating in our business and be able to write off about 70% of the things that we do on a daily basis.
And of course, everything you do in your business, as long as it's ordinary and necessary for your business, you can write it off. So that's a really good tip.
Absolutely. Get you a good CPA. I mean, you can almost write off everything as long as it's tailored to your business. Even writing off a portion of the rent at your home because you're using a portion of your home as an office. You know, things like that is, we live our business. So therefore, almost a good amount of our day-to-day operations can be written off.
All right, so really quick, let me share how I use and build up my own business credit. So one thing you need to understand is that business credit ties in heavily with your personal credit when you're first starting off. Let me explain. So your personal credit is going to dictate your ability to get business credit. And for me, I had to use my personal credit in order to apply for a business credit card. And then using that business credit card allows me to buy things that I already need for my business while simultaneously building up my business credit. So that one day when I want to buy my own commercial property instead of leasing, I have the business credit and the ability to raise money to do so. So it's very important that you're paying attention to your personal credit if you want to build up your business credit score. Anyway, let's go ahead and find someone else to interview and ask them their thoughts on how they use business credit. What's your name and what's your business?
Venkat, and we help people build their own financial agencies.
What exactly do you or your clients provide to other people?
So there's a lot of things in this card. Basically, the minimum every person should have is a will and trust and a life insurance. Everybody should have these things. So we educate clients on these things, and a lot of other things is like building wealth. Means everybody wants to build wealth so that they can retire faster. So all these strategies are available for wealthy people. We're bringing all these concepts to the main street people.
Do you think people should have a will or a trust? Which one's better?
So they should have both. Means will is good enough for most of the time, but if normally, let's say if my kids are older, 18, they get everything. But if I want them to get only some part of my wealth, and when they're 25 and the rest of them when they're 30, that's when the trust can do. You can give it at a different stages of their ages.
How much money did it cost you to get started?
Less than $1,000.
And do you use business credit at all? Or do you have a business credit card that you leverage?
Normally I don't, because there is no investment here. To make it simple, it's like a real estate license. I don't have any inventory I need to buy to sell them, right? So I provide financial plans to the clients, and when the client pays to the company pays me. So the company loves me because I'm selling their product. So we don't have to have a credit. Of course, I do use American Express credit, business credit card, and of course that's how I do it. But I don't have to have any credit.
So you have a business credit card right now. Why are you using a business credit card at all?
Means it's definitely to organize my expenses. What am I spending? Because the good thing about like employees versus businesses, employees get paid, and then the first thing that the government takes the taxes away, and then the remaining they can enjoy. For businesses, we get paid, we take all the deductions, anything left is going to be taxed. So that's the advantage. So this is the business credit card helps me organize all my expenses. So it's easy if at the end of the year say, hey, even though I made $200,000, hey, I have all these expenses for my business to travel, to have convention, to attend the convention. So I pay less taxes. That's the advantage of people having businesses.
Let's talk about tax strategies for a second. Do you have a favorite tax write-off or a favorite tax strategy that you like to implement?
Man, having a business is the biggest write-off you could get. Means if people don't have business, they should get some small businesses started, because that's when gives you the flexibility of taking your travel expenses, because I travel all the time and I can take that exemption. So not all the income my business makes get taxed, but the remaining money after the expenses is what gets taxed.
About how much revenue are you making?
So in the first year of starting this business, I personally made $51,000 the first year. And then in every year I kept on growing.
So there you have it, guys. We met some amazing business owners. We got some good feedback in terms of how they use business credit. They broke down their business models and much more. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Coming up next, I have 2 more videos where I'm interviewing and asking people different questions. So check those out if you haven't already, and I'll see you over there.